Alright guys, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix an oil leak on a Honda, the 2003 Honda Civic, the 1.7 VTEC. If you see down there, I don't know if you can see that through there, it's like dripping a lot of oil and it's running down on a transmission and stuff like that. And I noticed that the last time that I changed my my oil, that it was running all the way down off the transmission onto the oil pan. So it's like a major leak. I won't say a super major leak, but it's leaking. You can see it running down, so that's like a major leak to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this EGR valve, because what I need to get to is right here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Look at this right here. Do you see this? Let me move this. Let me unplug this. I'm gonna unplug this right here, and then I'm gonna unplug this right here. Then I'm show you guys. You see that? I'm pretty sure you can see it good now. You see how wet that is right here. See how loose that is? Now watch I put you back in. That's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to make a tight seal. That's the plug I need to get to, but I need to remove this this EGR valve. I mean, I could try to pry it out and slide it out with some needle nose or whatever like that, but I'm not gonna do that. Go ahead and take that off so I can be able to clean that oil and see what's going on down in there. And but before I do it, I want to move this air box too. I mean, you don't have to move the air box, but I want to be able to, see down in there, in case I drop a bolt. And then I just want to have room to work, because my hands are already oversized. Got gorilla hands, so I just want to be able to move this. You're going to try to get to this bolt down here. Is two bolts that's holding the EGR valve, and a 12 millimeter. There's one right here, and then one right there. Okay, now this is what we got to work with to remove this air box, which you don't have to, it's optional. I'm just gonna remove it because yeah, I'm just gonna remove it because I want to have room to work and I want to be able to see everything. So I got this 10 millimeter right here to take the air box off. And what you want to do to get to these 12 millimeter bolts right here, you want to use the smaller ratchet, the 1/2 inch ratchet with a 12 millimeter socket on it to get in between here. See, it goes down there easy. If you use the 3/8 ratchets, which is the thicker ratchet, you may be able to get to it, but I highly doubt it because it's hard to work up in there. You might if you force it up in there, but I'm just gonna work smart, not hard. So I'm gonna use the 1/2 inch ratchet and get that up in there. And another thing, when you put this in here like this, and trust me, that thing gonna be tight, so you're gonna need some type of pipe or whatever. Yours might not be as worst off as mine, but I just checked it and I know it's tight. So I'm gonna push this pipe up in here, and then I'm gonna turn it. Let's just use that like a breaker bar. Use that for leverage. And then I got my I ordered my cam plugs, rear cam plug seal right here. You can get them at the dealership for anywhere from $8 to $10. I ordered it off Amazon for like $6. So and another thing too, I ordered my EGR valve seal, the gasket I mean, because when you take this off, you're gonna have to repair that gasket, because the gasket is going to tear up when you take that off. I ordered the gasket off Amazon too, and it hasn't made it yet. It supposed to came at the same time as the rear cam plug seal, but it didn't come. So I'll probably just take all this stuff off, get it ready, and then go get the gasket for the EGR valve and call it today, because I want to go ahead and get this done. All right. Yeah, and another thing you guys want to do too, I mean, you don't have to, but I got one of these. It's the extension magnet. So like when you drop that, if you end up, because there's a tight spot, you end up dropping that nut down there or whatever like that, or the bolt. You put this up in there and it helps you, it's like magnetic. See that? It's magnetic, it help you grab the bolt. It's a good invention. And another thing too, you don't have to, because I don't believe they did it from factory. They probably doing it now, but on that rear cam seal is like, it's like a ring around it. You can put some black, like the silicone around there that's oil resistance to make a tighter seal. And you can put some on the EGR valve gasket as well. But I mean, if you clean it up pretty good and pop it back in, you should have no problem. I don't think these plugs was a good idea on here. And maybe that gasket stuff would make it help longer, but it's not needed. You can use it if you want to. And then use some type of part cleaner, like a brake part cleaner or carburetor and cleaner to clean out the gasket and stuff, to clean that like that loose oil down there. Or you can take a rag, or some type of degreaser. It don't matter. But let me get this airbox off. The airbox pretty simple. It's just a couple bolts. There's one down there. 2, 3, I believe. It may be another one, not sure. And I'm just gonna pull the hose off here. You see I start pushing that back already. And then we'll get the show on the road. All right guys, now you see with the airbox going out of there, how much room it is to work now. See that? Look at all that room. Now I can turn around and face all this. See that? Now the bolt right there, I can get to it easy in case I drop it. Then the other one right there. But you see all that oil down up in there that's dripping down up in there? Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna need to take off. I mean, like I said, you don't have to take that airbox off, but to me it's better if you take it off, because look at all this room. Trying to work smart, not hard. Sure. Because if you, take like, an extra 15 seconds to take the airbox off, instead of fighting to get to the bolts and tearing up the skin on your knuckles and your hands. So you might as well just go ahead and take the few extra seconds to take the airbox out. So now let me get to taking these two off, these two 12mm nuts off, and then we'll get to it. All right guys, the EGR valve is off. This is it right here. One of the studs came off with the bolts right there, but that's no problem. I could tighten it. I could put that back in there. And then one of the studs stayed on, and then the nut came off. So that's perfectly fine. It's no problem with that. And just got to clean all this stuff up. You see how that's clogged up? All that stuff. It's good I clean this stuff off anyway. Look at that. That stuff is all clogged up, so I'm gonna have to get some carb cleaner to spray down up in there. And I'm glad I did take this off, because that would have been a problem. Do you see all that oil back there? All coming from this loose plug right here. See that? See how loose this plug is? It's not supposed to do all that. So we're gonna get to that. And another thing I noticed too, let me show you. Look how clogged. Let me see. Try to turn this aside there. Let's see. All right. This right here. Supposed to be able to push in and out. That's kind of clogged too. So I'm gonna spray that stuff down and clean it before I put it back in there. That's pretty bad. But like I said though, I got this car from Bought this vehicle for somebody for cheap. Well, I believe like $400, $450, and they didn't too much take care of it. But it's running good though, so. And I want to keep it that way, so I'm gonna make these little small repairs, and then we're gonna get on with it. But this the plug right here that we want to take out. But you see how easy that thing come out? Probably so. I'm gonna put this camera down because I want to take this and pry this out, and I want to be careful not to break the things off up in there. So I'm gonna put this camera down and we're gonna get to it. All right, guys, I got it out. I had to Ike Turner a little bit to get it out. Beat on it a little bit. See that? I had chewed up the edges, but for some reason, this one don't have no teeth on it. That's crazy. And then the rubber seal around here is gone. It don't look like it had no indent for a rubber seal. I don't know what was going on, but this is how the new one look. Give me a second. Let me wipe this oil off my hand and take the new one out. All right, guys, this is the new one. Let me let it focus. Make sure it's focused. All right, guys, this is the new one. You see how the new one look? The new one got the rubber seal, and then it got the teeth on the end. That's what I was worried about, because when these right here, you don't want to break those off up in the engine, because you'll have problems. But if you look at this one, those never did have teeth on the end. Nothing broke off. It just looks smooth. So the newer one looked better designed. You know, so I'm gonna clean this oil up and stuff over here, and then I'm gonna get some carburetor cleaner and clean this EGR valve up real good. Spray down up in here, clean this stuff off, and it looked like this never had a seal on it. Like nothing. Seal didn't even burn off. Just never had a seal to begin with. So I don't know what they was doing. I don't know if somebody tried to take it out before or whatever like that, or the oil ate the seal up, but it's nothing stuck on there. That's weird. Usually it'll tear up or disintegrate a little bit and appeal, but it's nothing on there. So I gotta do just clean this up, go get the gasket, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, but I'm trying to see, should I just pop this back in there or I might put some gasket stuff around it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put some get some black the silicone to put around it to make the seal, because I don't plan on doing this again. And then I don't want the person I sell the car to have to because eventually I'm gonna have to go back through this problem again. So yeah, that's what I might do. So let me go to the parts store and I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, I got all that stuff cleaned out. I just sprayed the brake cleaner back there to let it soak up some of that oil. I used the green can. They got a green can and a red can. And the green can is like easier on plastic parts and stuff like that, so I got that. And you know, the carb cleaner, I cleaned out my PCV valve with that. I got other videos showing you how to clean the PCV valve out and stuff like that. So I got that done, and now this is what you want to put on there. Normally, I wouldn't put nothing on there. I'll pop it back just like back in there. So it would end up being like factory. But I think if the factory probably put some of this on there, it would have lasted a little bit longer, maybe. But who I'm saying, I'm not an engineer. No, I didn't make the car, but I'm just saying though, I think a little bit of that stuff around there would have made a tighter seal. But anywho, I'm gonna put some on there. You know, normally I like to go back the way the factory thing had it, but I think if they would have put a little bit of seal on there, maybe it probably would have held in there a little better. But who knows? The car maker's not no perfect. Nobody's perfect. Otherwise, you wouldn't have all these recalls. I know a lot of people say that, oh, the factory know best. They know what they're doing. But yeah, sometimes, if they was perfect, it wouldn't be no recalls on stuff because they forgot to put the seal on, or they forgot to do this. It's trial and error. So I'm gonna put some of that around a light coat of that around the rubber seal, and then I'm gonna pop that up in there. You can see I got all this stuff cleaned out. And I'm waiting for my gasket to come. I got that stuff cleaned off of there to go back on there. And yeah, let me put this gasket maker stuff around the edge, then I'm gonna pop it back in there for you guys. It's easy. All right, guys, you can see I try not to pile it up around there and put it around there neat, but stuff is goopy. But after you put that on there, try to start 3 of the legs first before you get it up in there. All right, make sure these 2 lines come up on there, lined it up, which the other one didn't have no lines. I told you, just push it up in there. See that? You gonna see that stuff goop out the side? Let it, because it's making the seal. Just let that stuff come out. See that? And honestly, I think see how tight it is now, and you can't wiggle it. At first, you used to be able to wiggle it, and I think honestly, I think if the factory would have did that from the beginning, it would have lasted a lot longer. That's my opinion. But Honda make pretty good vehicles, so who am I to say? But anywho, I'm gonna put that on there and just let it sit. I gotta wait for the other. Like I said, I told you I ordered the other part from Amazon. I'm just gonna wait till it come because I'm not in a rush anyway. I'm not gonna drive it, and plus I'm gonna let this stuff sit for 24 hours, and probably just 48 hours just to make sure. But again, I'm gonna turn the camera off now. Then I'm gonna finish up when the gasket come, because I need that gasket to put the what's in it. Like I said, I can run to the parts store to go get it, but I already ordered one off of Amazon when I ordered the what's in there, and when I ordered the part, and they said that it's supposed to come today. So I'm just wait. If it don't come today, then I just get up in the morning, go get a part. But if it come, like I said, I ain't in no rush. I don't need to drive the vehicle, so I can let it sit. But anyway, I'll finish up the video when that part get here, so I can go ahead and throw that gasket on the PCV valve, and then we'll be done. All right, guys, the gasket part came in. It was actually the next day. It didn't come. I had to wait. But this is the gasket that I need right here. That goes down there to the EGR valve. As you can see, I cleaned the oil out the best I can out of the corner. And plug had a whole full day to dry. You see it right there. Got the gasket, the sealant stuff around it, put that up in there. So shouldn't have no more problems out there. I should be able to, sell a vehicle without having to do this again. So should be good on that. So the next person that get it wouldn't have to worry about it. So let's get this gasket and EGR valve put back on. Stuff put back together. All right, guys, this is the gasket. It really don't matter which side you put it on, but I like to put it. You see the imprint on the other side? I put the shiny side facing up, but it really don't matter. Now normally it's the bolt will be right there. Another bolt will be right there, which will hold it in place, and it'd be a lot easier to hold it down while you tighten it on. But it's no big deal if one of them come off. Just make sure the gasket stuff, the material is cleaned off and everything is smooth to the touch, and then you just do it like that. All right. Make sure you put this off out the way it came, and then now I could just put that bolt, put this right here down in that side, and then put the nut on the other side. Let me go ahead and start that. And see, guys, you don't have to move the airbox off, but I just moved it because, like you said, the stuff is easy to get to, and I don't have to worry about like fitting my hands into a small spot because I already got gorilla hands. And you know, anybody with big hands doing mechanic work, they already know it's hard to get certain stuff. You got to actually call somebody with. It's actually good to have somebody with smaller hands working to pick up bolts and get to stuff that you can't get to. But you know, we tend to get the job done though. So, all right, guys. Another thing too, so you don't cross thread it. Other thing too, because a lot of people put it on and they start it off with the ratchet and cross thread it, then you have to drill it out, and it's a whole other different ball game. So just kind of like put when you get it lined up right there, make sure it twists freely with your hands for a bunch of hands. Just twist it to get tight. That's all. See that? And it'll make life a lot easier. And then do the same thing with the nut right here. Just put that down on there. Take this off. No need to rush, guys. Just tighten it up by hand. And then once you get that tightened up by hand all the way, then you can just give a few turns with the ratchet, but don't forget not to over tighten it, you know, so you don't break nothing off. All right, now do with the ratchet on. You really don't have to get it that tight, just tighten up. Let's do this with the left here. All right. There we go. Got it tight. And you can just plug these plugs back in last after you put the air box and stuff back on. Now let me go get the air box and put that back in. All right, guys. I popped the air box back in here. And now what I gotta do is put these 10 millimeter bolts back up in here. You got one right there. That's 2, 3 at the back, and where is the other one going? Oh, the other one is down up in there, right there. So let's put that back up in there, and we good to go. All right, guys, got the box and everything secured back down. And the last thing, put these 2 plugs back in. Black plug go down here to the sensor. Other plug go up here to the EGR valve. And bam, you're done. Oil leak all fixed. I'm gonna run it for a couple days and make sure that it ain't leaking, but I know for sure that I got it, but you know, it's always good to check anyway. Yeah. And you guys see why I said take the airbox out. I mean, you don't have to technically take the airbox out to get to it, but look where the airbox at. And you see how the thing, when I took this out, I was able to, you know, see those bolts, and I didn't risk any chance of dropping the bolts or losing the bolts because I was able to see and access the bolts a little bit better. You know, seeing that I got big hands, you know, it's best if you got to move something and it won't take nothing but a couple minutes to move it. You might as well just move it, because when you lose that bolt, you're going to spend longer than that looking for it, or then you're going to have to go to a parts store, to a junkyard to try to find another bolt. So it's might as well just do it right the first time. But that wraps up this video. That's how you fix the oil leak and put a cam seal cap on a 2003 Honda Civic. And basically they like that from 2001 to 2005. And the non-VTEC model, the non-VTEC engine is even easier to put it on because it don't have the EGR valve right here. It just have the cap. So you basically ain't got nothing to take or lose. It's a lot easier on the non-VTEC engines. But with the VTEC engines, you have to remove the EGR valve and the air box if you want to make your job a lot easier. But on that note, this wraps up the video. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share the video. And I'll see y'all on the next video. God bless y'all.
Perfect.